Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today on our webinar. We have some great speakers today and who are very excited to talk about Veeam and AWS and how the partnership between them have empowered our partners with a quick, cost-effective and reliable solution, all on a scalable and robust platform. To kick things off, I'll provide you a brief introduction on who's speaking today, as well as an agenda on the topics we'll cover. So myself, I'm a multi-cloud business development manager here at Ingram. I work across multiple cloud platforms, but I have a specific focus on AWS and Veeam. My background previously has been in managed services for a few years, and I've focused primarily on showcasing to my customers the benefits of Veeam and cloud to protect them. On top of that, I've got Jesse Ryan. Jesse runs the Veeam VCSP business here at Ingram Micro. He's got a deep knowledge of the value of Veeam and how that provides value to big and small business. Jesse has also worked on the front lines of managed services as well, and has been rolling out Veeam and cloud backup for about 7+ years. I've got Paul O'Connell. Paul leads our AWS business here at Ingram Micro Cloud. If you don't know AWS and Ingram Micro, you'll probably need to talk to Paul. For the most of you who do know AWS and Ingram Micro, you've probably already met Paul. Paul's been a primary driver for helping our partners grow, build, and scale on the AWS journey, so we're very happy to have him on. And finally, we've got Joel Tullock. Joel is the founder and CEO of Stoic IT. Stoic IT is a small managed services IT firm with a specific focus on healthcare. Joel's been also involved in the MSP space for about 2 decades and a bit. So sorry, Joel, if I'm showing your age a little bit. But he's also on the forefront of how AWS can transform the healthcare industry from a traditional architecture. So just to quickly wrap up on who's speaking, everyone here speaking today has a rich history with Veeam and AWS and cloud, and we've also communicated sort of the value that the partnership of Veeam and AWS provide. So we hope you find this session really informative. To get into the agenda, we're going to go into an overview of Veeam, the history of backups and how it's transformed over time. We're going to delve into AWS and understand why that's the platform of choice. We're going to cover how Ingram Micro can help our partners with AWS distribution. We're going to learn and see from Stoic IT on how they use Veeam and AWS. We're going to see what promotions and incentives we also have on offer today with our partners. And to wrap it up, we've got a quiz and some prizes with Kahoot and some Q&A. So that'll hopefully show who's paying attention as well. So to that end, I'm very pleased to get the ball rolling and introduce you again to Jesse Ryan, who's going to talk us through Veeam.
Thank you so much, Sonny, for the warm introduction, and thank you too to everyone who's listening in today. So as IT professionals, you well know the importance of having a robust backup strategy. A bit of trivia for you though. How long do you think you need to go back into time to find the first known recorded instance of when someone was told to take a backup copy of something important? Are you thinking maybe we could stretch back 50 years, 100 years? Goes further, 1,000 years? No, we actually need to go more than 2,000 years back into the history of mankind to find one of the first known recorded instances of someone being told to take a backup copy of something that is very, very important. If you were to visit the Oriental Institute of the University of Chicago, you will find a small jar, like a vessel, there on display. Now, fragments of this jar were actually found in a cave. This cave is commonly referred to as the Dead Sea Scroll Cave. A lot of very important artifacts were found in that cave. Now, when architects got their hands on these broken fragments of this jar, they put them back together like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle, and there they had this beautiful jar. Then the archaeologists rather, they started to look at some of these scrolls, and they were able to translate them from Hebrew into more commonly spoken languages, and to understand that these scrolls were actually fragments of what we know today as the best known seller, actually the Bible. And what they were able to do is to find quotes from these scrolls that would indicate that some of these scrolls would have been actually stored inside that jar. So what I'm going to do is actually to quote from the Bible, and don't worry, we're not at Sunday school, and very quickly we'll see what this story has to do with backup. So if you're interested, this is from the book of Jeremiah. And here, a man by the name of Barak, who was a secretary, was given these instructions. He was told to take these deeds, the deed of purchase, the sealed one, and the other deed left unsealed, and put them inside a vessel, or that jar that we're referring to, and keep them for a long time. What on earth, again, does this have to do with backup? Well, back in these ancient times, when a property or something like that was purchased, a deed was written up. This was a signed legal document that would transfer the ownership of an asset to a new owner. So one copy would be kept unsealed, that would be referred to, a working copy as it were, and then another copy would be sealed and stored securely away inside this jar. A secure backup copy should the need arise to make reference back to it. Well, let's jump in a time machine and fast forward 2,000 odd years, and we know that the way that important information is now stored has changed somewhat. No longer is valuable information just being recorded on scrolls or on paper. Of course, it is being stored in digital format. And large organizations, small organizations too, they're storing digital data, be it on-premise, hybrid environments, offsite and public clouds, or of course, data centers as well. Now, smart companies and smart IT professionals, no doubt like who are listening in today, you don't think of storing data in a vessel or a jar or something like that. No, technology's come a long way since those ancient days, and smart organizations are using very clever software such as Veeam. And they commonly adhere to what is known as the 3-2-1 principle of backup. And I'm sure you've heard of that. 3 copies of your data, 2 different kinds of medium, 1 copy of that data offsite, ideally in a public cloud, such as AWS. Now, we've all heard the expression that data is the new oil. And of course, that comment is so 2019, isn't it? And the world has changed somewhat since 2019, and technology space is changing at a rapid pace. I'd like to just relate to you a true experience that I was involved in back at the beginning of the pandemic. I was working for a Veeam cloud service provider at the time, a platinum partner, one of the largest Australian-based platinum partners. I believe at the time they were the largest actually. And I was having a cheeky little sleep in. It's about 7:30 one morning. This was when there was the hard lockdown, at least in Sydney anyway. And I got a surprise phone call from the national manager of the company that I worked for. And she said, "You awake, Jesse?" I lied and said, "Of course, I just got back from my 10-kilometre run." And she said, "Look, an ex-colleague, he's now CIO of a large company, we'll just refer to them as Company A. They've been hit by a cyber attack. They've been down for a few days. He's reached out to me. Is there any chance you can get into contact and see whether there's something that we might be able to do to get them up and running?" Well, I sent him a quick text message. He responded and said, "Let's set up a Teams call." And what he had to say, and just the way that he said it, it had a big effect on me. After our pleasantries, he looked straight into the camera. He was almost looking into my soul, this poor gentleman. I could see he hadn't slept for several days. And he said, "Jesse, as an organization, we are on our knees. 3 days, our website has been down. Our customers can no longer place orders from us. We've lost our client base. We have no clear path forward. Anything that you and your company, your organization can do to get us up and running, we will be forever thankful." I was able to bring in some technical resources. Now, fortunately, they did have some backup copies of their data, albeit they were stored on old LTO tapes. They no longer maintained these tape libraries, and these tapes were stored in regional areas. This business, large organization, had acquired a number of smaller businesses, but they were able to get these tapes into capital cities, get them on planes, flew them into Sydney. We got them into our environment, into our restoration room. The tapes were loaded into the old tape libraries. And the poor technicians, they worked 24-hour shifts. It took them another 3 days, but eventually they were able to get a copy of their data back and at least get their mission critical service up and running, and this large company could start transacting. Well, when the dust settled, I reached out to the CIO and I said, come on, let's catch up for a refreshing lemonade somewhere. And we did, we met up in the city. And I said to him, what have been the lessons, the key lessons that your organization has learned from this terrible experience? And he was able to summarize it into 3 key areas. He said, first of all, any organization who values their data must have a robust backup and disaster recovery solution. His second tip was test your BCP plans regularly. Don't just assume they work, do tests throughout the year. So when the inevitable hits the fan, you have confidence that you'll be able to get your company's data back and will be business as usual. And his third tip, quite interesting, and this will segue nicely into the AWS segment, which is coming. He said, have your mission critical data stored offsite in a cloud repository, such as AWS. Now look, this experience, it had a pretty big impact on me because I really started to see the value of the role that we can play for organizations such as this, because we potentially could save their business. Now, let's not kid ourselves and pretend that we're doctors and scientists who are coming up with a vaccine that's going to end the global pandemic and save millions of lives. Look, we're not in the business of saving lives, but we are in the business of saving businesses. And your customers, they look to you as a trusted resource to build, deploy, and test a robust backup strategy for them. And when you're having those conversations with them, think green and think Veeam. Might sound a little corny, but have you ever thought about the color green? I mean, I don't know about you, I go on Google and everything I look up, there's little boxes popping up. I can't get away from Veeam. They're an incredibly strong marketing powerhouse. But we all know the value of the color green. We've heard of a green room. It's a commonly known fact that the color green can actually have a calming effect on humans in a stressful environment. Well, as IT professionals, you do work in a very stressful environment. So avoid the stress, think green, think Veeam. Now, maybe green's not your thing, or perhaps you've not had the most pleasant experience some time back with Veeam. I've been working closely with Veeam for over 7 years now, and they have come an incredibly long way, not just backing up servers. There's very few things that they cannot back up today. We are seeing tremendous growth around Microsoft 365 backup, huge growth. In fact, I don't know whether you saw this or read this media release last week. So pretty hot off the press, this statement. I'll just share it with you. This was released on the 10th last week. It says Veeam Software, the leader in backup, recovery, and data management solutions, today announced it has attained the #1 market share position in both Australia and New Zealand regions in IDC's semi-annual software tracker for data replication and protection, with a market share of 12.8% and the fastest year-on-year growth. It's 14% year-on-year growth among the top 5 vendors in our space. So that's quite an achievement for this company, Veeam. Again, they've come an incredibly long way. There's no accident that they have reached this #1 position in our region in such a short period of time. And Ingram Micro has recognized this. And that's why at Ingram Micro, we have a dedicated team to be able to help you as managed service providers provide a reliable, a robust backup solution for your end users, for your customers. We have myself as the Business Development Manager for the consumption model, VCSP. We also have a BDM who's looking after the reseller model, where the end user will own the license, BDM focused on that. We have a solutions architect. We have a person from our operations team focused on these two particular avenues. And of course, we have a product manager. So by all means, get in contact with myself or anyone who's invited you along today, and we would be more than happy at Ingram Micro to be able to help and support you to be able to roll out Veeam and of course AWS solutions to your customers. Now, we mentioned a little earlier the 3-2-1 strategy of backup. You remember that final point there? A robust backup solution should include an off-site copy of your data, i.e. AWS. And that's my segue into my colleague, Paul O'Connell. So what I'll now do is hand over to the handsome devil himself. Thanks, Paul. It's all yours.
Thank you. Don't know who you're talking about there. But good morning, everyone, and thank you so much again for joining us today. Great to see so many of you on the call. Just very quickly, and thanks, Jesse, that was some really interesting insights into the history of backup. What I'd like to do now, pardon me, is just take you through just some of the reasons why AWS is a really good choice for your cloud backup. Some of you may already be on AWS, some of you may be new to it, but wherever you are on your journey, I'd like to just take you through a couple of reasons why I think AWS is the right choice for you. Just very quickly, AWS started in Australia. Pretty much they invented the whole concept of the public cloud. They started back in 2006. They've been in Australia since 2012, so just on 10 years, and they are by most definitions the market leader in terms of market share. So if you are looking for a cloud provider, AWS definitely ticks all of those boxes. You can see some other really good points here, and I'll just focus on a couple of them if I could in particular. AWS, I think, is very easy to do. When I say easy, if you're looking to do backup, you don't particularly need deep domain skills within AWS to do so. It sits on what is called S3, which is a simple storage solution, and effectively, pretty much anyone with some reasonable technical skills can spin this up and get this going. And whilst it's good to have the relevant AWS certifications, and we'd certainly encourage you to continue down that path if you did want to, you don't necessarily need deep domain skills to set up your environment on AWS. AWS is very flexible. When you set up an AWS environment, you've got everything there at your fingertips. You've got the backup option, as Jesse's covered. You've got the database, you've got the virtual machine options. So pretty much everything you do on premise can be replicated within AWS. So it's also very flexible. Next point's important around cost effective. AWS is of course designed to be, I suppose, cost effective. Now there's a lot of tools that we have here at Ingram and of course within AWS itself to help you as a partner drive a good cost outcome for your customer. So what you'll find is that when you move to AWS, you have the advantage of charging them based on what they're using per month, or you can do it at a fixed fee. But the idea is that it is cost effective for customers to roll out. Also AWS, and coming back to Jesse's point, is also very reliable and very scalable. If in the event where you did have a disaster or something bad happened and you needed to get your data back quickly, AWS, the way they're architected and the way they're designed, there's probably our presentation we can get into here, are designed to be very, very reliable and very, very scalable and also very, very high performance. So as a partner, you can be assured that your data will be available to you whenever you need it in the event of a disaster or you need to get it back quickly. So just to summarize, AWS is a really good choice for your off-site storage for your data. Next slide, please. Just very quickly, Ingram has been an AWS distributor now for just on a year. And for those of you who are new to this world, this means that you can consume AWS like you can Veeam, any other vendor, via Ingram. There's a lot of things that we can do for you, but let's highlight a couple of things in particular. Any AWS consumption that backup generates, we can give you additional margin on that. So, or that margin that can be used, you can pass it on as discount. Sorry, we can give you a discount on that consumption. So that discount you can pass on as savings to the customer. You can keep it as your margin. You can do what you want with it. But again, all that consumption that your backup solution generates, you can make margin on that as a partner. We also have a range of technical resources to help you spin up an AWS environment to back up for Veeam. And there's a whole range of things we can do to help you and your sales team get enabled. So again, working through Ingram, we are very much helping you grow is very much in our interests. So please reach out. There's a whole lot of things that we can do for you. We also can help you get certified as an AWS partner, whether you want to move from an advanced registered partner, which is the entry level, to select. There's a whole lot of things that we can do for you to help you get up to the next partner level. But the key thing is working with Ingram as an AWS distributor, our goal is to help you grow. Whether it's with Veeam backup or whatever we'd like to do next, working with Ingram, we can help you grow with not only your Veeam practice, but also to help you build out your AWS practice as well. Sonny, I'll now pass over to you.
Thanks so much, Paul. That was great. And now I'm very excited to have Stoic IT present how they use Veeam, how it's affected their business and their customers in healthcare. And if I could pass it over to Joel, yeah, please take it away.
Okay. I'm just waiting for the, here we go. Well, we'll do the, wrong one. I didn't mean to share the entire screen. Sorry about that. Yeah, so many of the reasons mentioned already is why we've chosen Veeam and AWS. I've been working in managed services IT for a very long time. And sorry, I'm a newbie. I'm just trying to share only the right window. Can I get that sharing request again? No. Here we go. No. There we go. Sorry, everyone, about that. Yeah, so been working in managed services IT for a very long time, have seen all the different kinds of backup products and clouds out there, and being a relatively small enterprise, looked at the options of creating your own cloud and using Veeam as a managed service provider with your own infrastructure. The amount of time and effort it would take to do that seems not worthwhile, especially when things like just scale out repository Veeam exist, and you can, with, again, as it was said, very little domain knowledge. I actually happen to be an AWS solution architect, but you don't need to be that. I've got junior people now spinning that up very easily for new customers, to be able to quickly calculate what it would cost to get it up and running, to get that protection against those kinds of disasters. And being that we've mentioned before, given that our focus is on healthcare, sometimes we are saving lives. Actually, we're supporting healthcare organizations that are doing radiology for the public hospitals. So if you have a car accident in a country town, I'm supporting the businesses that are providing that service to report it out of Sydney or London even. So the kind of RPOs we need to ensure that things are up and running incredibly quickly, Veeam and AWS can provide for a fraction of the cost that it would take to do in other ways, far simpler, and being able to test those disaster recovery processes and plans regularly to be able to migrate people to the cloud. So let's say when we're looking at the calculation of this, if a disaster hits, depending on the kind of disaster, maybe they don't want to go back to on-prem. Maybe they want to stay in the cloud. And the ability to do that, to even hybridize, I've used Veeam and AWS to move a customer from one cloud to another, to move from the cloud back to on-prem, and vice versa. The use cases are nearly endless and very easy to kind of work out what you need to do. You can also look at virtual tape as an option. Also, let's go back a bit, sorry. There's two approaches. One is to simply replace a tier of your disk. So you've got a fast on-prem disk, you've got still fast but remote disk in S3. You can also have a virtual tape library for much longer archive, much slower, but also much cheaper. So you've got all of those options covered that you would traditionally be looking at for small, medium businesses. Want both of those things. They want to be up very quickly, but they also want to see what happened 2 years ago for legal reasons. And you can cover all of those use cases quite easily. I'll have a look at the pricing calculator stuff now for you. So how we work out how much it's going to cost the customer and the different approaches there. So our approach in general is to have the customer own Veeam licenses in general, to have their own AWS account, to just make the margin on that. But for the customers that don't want any part of that, they want simple, they want a single bill, we would work through our own calculations of what it may cost, offer them a fixed price based on consumption, and there's some things on there about restoring as well that I've included in some of the things here. And that's usually only the scale-out repository solution using S3. So we start on Google, not Google Cloud though. Takes us to the calculator. We create ourselves an estimate.
And Joel, just so I understand as well, is this is what I guess Stoic IT's take is, or our partner's take on, if they've got a customer, if you've got a customer that has this requirement and you want to protect their backups, this is how you'd almost put that quote together, right? This is end to end in that sense. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's right. So we would look at how much data they've got to start with. That's how we're collecting some of these numbers. So if they had Veeam already, which many do, and they simply want another tier of backup somewhere else, or they have another cloud backup solution, there should be some stats of how much data do they have, what is the change rate like, so we can plug those in. If not, we can just look at how much data they actually have, estimate change rates from whatever backup solution they have. If they have none, estimate high for change rates. So after we've worked out total amount of storage needed for those backups and added some room for growth, we would go to the calculator, just do a search for S3, hit configure, and we get different options here. So the typical ones you want to look at are S3 standard and S3 infrequent access, which makes a lot of sense for backup because typically you plan to only write to it and very rarely, or hopefully never, read from it, depending on what you're doing with it. And data transfer. So I've done an example of an actual customer and increased just round it up a bit. So for 10 terabyte of storage, when you're first doing this and you have no examples to work from, it can be a little hard. Using a bit of a sample size, the numbers that I've seen, but they're all very similar customers, same kind of industry. So don't take this as gospel, but it's about 30 million puts for 10 terabytes of standard, or just 3,000 times the amount of gigabytes. And you actually won't pay for gets, but we'll see that down here. And this will give us the cost for S3 for the month in US dollars. And if we look at the same in infrequently accessed, because of the amount of put requests, it's actually slightly more. So we would stick with standard. That way, when we do restore, we're not going to hit any costs for recovery from standard. When it comes to the data transfer, typically you've got the first time you ingest. So all of it, and maybe even more than all of it, because it will take a little while to do, depending on link speeds. You can also, if the customer has a very slow link, use things like Snowball Edge to seed that data into S3. But these days, most people have reasonable internet links. So as you can see, the cost of sending data into S3 is nothing. The only real issue is when we want to pull it all out. So that's the part that gets tricky when you are looking at what to charge as a fixed price. You can either look to have a separate line item that says a restore will cost you X or something in a contract. What I'm typically doing at the moment is calculating the cost of that restore and then amortizing that over 12 months and saying you get one total restore per 12 months. And that looks like this, using this example. So we've got the cost of a restore divided by 12, regular month, adding 1/12 of that to the regular month. And that's USD, XGST, adjust it for GST and exchange rates. And there you have your cost price, not including whatever margins you're getting from Ingram and AWS. And you can add more money on top of that to whatever feels appropriate. When I've looked at the legacy kinds of AWS, the legacy kinds of Veeam and repositories that they're using, whether it's their own systems, it's typically 2 to 3 times this amount for that amount of data, so that you can massively undercut people that have spent a lot of money on infrastructure. And the level of resiliency, the many nines of durability of S3 is going to be far better than whatever they've built, nearly guaranteed. So using S3 as that extra data store brings peace of mind for me and for the customers I'm supporting and responsible for.
That's awesome, Joel. And I really like how you touched on how Veeam is also a great cloud mobility sort of tool as well. But I know it seems quite easy, and I know you've just got a few fields to put the quote together. But I just want to say to our partners as well, in that first time, if it is your first time, we've got a team as well that is happy to help you in that first sort of few instances, and then I'm sure your team can take it on from there. But thank you so much, Joel. That was great how you just walked us through the whole process. You made it sound not like it's too complex, but I'm sure if it was the first time, it might be a bit crazy. But thank you so much for just putting it all together end to end.
Yeah, great job, Joel.
Very simple. It's just the working out how much data you have is the hard part. And just some advice like this I would have found very helpful before I started. I just had to work it out the hard way. That's all.
Thankfully, you weren't talking to us then, so that's maybe a little bit of help for our partners. But I think to everyone else listening, we should maybe go into what sort of incentives and promotions we have. I would love to share that with you. So if I could just get our slide going. That would be amazing.
While we're waiting, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box. Jess, if you could bring up that slide, thanks. Yep.
All right, so everybody, if you're a partner or soon to be a partner, I just wanted to showcase very quickly what sort of Veeam and AWS promotions and offers we have, and it's quite beneficial. I'm blown away with how much I guess funding we can provide our team and our partners. So I want to just start off quickly just by saying Ingram Micro and AWS have what's called our AWS Illuminate program. That is sort of our central repository where we keep our partners up to date with the latest and greatest with resources, webinars, trainings, and also offers like this. Now, just quickly, what ties in very specifically to AWS and Veeam is there is a table on the left on that slide, and that is what's called solution plays. So if you and your team are rolling out, for example, a scale-out backup repository like Joel just showcased to us, we would love to reward you for that. If you're rolling out, say, a cloud mobility or a migration utilizing Veeam, we would love to reward you with that and give you some cash prize bonuses. So this is really great to have as you are already protecting your customers. Further to that, as you roll out every bit of these solution plays and get rewarded for them, we also give you a ticket to join us. It's a ticket to go into a lottery, and to which the winner of that lottery, or the winners, I should say, will join us for a VIP F1 Formula 1 day over at Victoria next year. That's really exciting, and sort of rolled out the red carpet, and we very much want to spend time with our partners who work well in this campaign. But also, we've just recently got a new promotion as well to add on to, I guess, the cash bonuses we're already giving you. At the bottom there is an earn $100 for every ACE opportunity. So basically, talk to us about these projects, these solutions that you're rolling out. We're going to register them with AWS on your behalf. And for everyone approved, you will also receive another $100 gift card. So not to say we're throwing money at this, but I think AWS and Veeam together are quite a bit. So it's really great to see. So that's what we have today. Please reach out to myself, Paul, Jesse, if you want to know more about these promos and offers. But I think now we're going to sort of apply what we've sort of spoken to you about in our Kahoot quiz. And good luck to you all. And hopefully you win some prizes there. So I'll pass it back to you, Sonia.
Hi, thank you. I'm going to be doing the Kahoot quiz. Let me just start the Kahoot. So, oh, sorry. So I'm just going to show my screen and start the Kahoot. I'm sure you've all played, but you just need to put into your desktop or your mobile kahoot.it. Oh. Let me just get you the code, sorry. Oh, start. Sorry. God, so much pressure. Sorry, and the code is on your screen. So please put your names in because there are prizes we're sending out. A lot of cash, $100, $75 and $50, MasterCard, Visa or Uber vouchers. So the game pin is on the screen, 1131398. And I'd love to get all of you on here. And some of them are funny, some of them are fun, and some of them are about what we've just heard from the wonderful team. And as for point-wise, it's about speed and accuracy. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I'm just going to wait for a bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on, can I please get 2 more? Yes. One more. Oh, awesome. All right. So if that's Jessie Ryan, you are not applicable to win any of the prizes. So, but thanks for joining. So let's start. Sorry, that was a bit intense. Sorry. Okay, so they're all multiple choice questions. Who won the Men's Australian Open Finals this year, 2022?
Just a hint, it definitely wasn't me.
I don't know, you're away for a bit in January. Oh, well done. Oh, very good. All right, next question. Oh, sorry, got to pop up. Next question. So backup king coming first. So the next question is, which city does Batman protect? Eight answers. I think 8, 9 answers. 7 seconds to go. Come on, guys. It starts with a G. That's all I can give you. Oh, well done. Oh, Sydney. That'd be nice. Okay, next question. Let's see who's on the leaderboard. So it's changed. Okay, next question. It's a multiple choice. Partners who register a Veeam and AWS hop will have the chance to win ... a zoo pass, a backyard barbecue at Sunny's Place, he's in Sydney, trip to ... or a Formula One VIP experience in 2023. Excellent. You're all listening, except maybe Jessie. Jessie, I bet that was you. Okay, so let's see. Oh, you're on fire. Well done. Okay, so 4. What is the 3, 2, 1 principle of backup Jessie was talking about? I'm not going to go through all of them, but have a read. Eight answers. Oh, well done. They were listening. Well done. Let's see if anyone's changed or still up there, because you're in a streak. You're on fire. Okay, sorry. If you register an ACE op, how much do you receive? $10, 10 cents, $100, or nothing. So this one is to make sure you're looking at your screen and paying attention. So I got all 9 answers. So yes, $100 is correct. So it has to be approved, but yes, it's $100. Scoreboard now still up there. Well done, 5 in a row. 6, what is measured in Mickeys? So it's just a fun one. The speed of a computer mouse, speed of lightning, speed of electricity, or speed of a mouse? Oh, wow. So we got 3 and 4. Yeah, I put that in there to confuse you, but let's see. Oh, W2G. It's coming first. Well done. Okay, so 2 more questions. Name Ingram Micro's AWS program designed to deliver exclusive services, promotions, offerings for our partners. And offerings for our partners. Sorry about that. Is it Sunny's Lightning program? Oh, sorry. You got the right one. The Ingram Micro Lightning program. Illuminate program, sorry. So W2G is still up there. Well done. And then we've got, give me 3 reasons why a customer would choose AWS. It's easy, it's cost effective, it's flexible, or all of the above. Correct. So let's see if anything's changed. No, W2G is still up there. Okay, this is the last one. 3 things Ingram Micro can help AWS partners with. Is it margin on consumption, free access to Cloud Checker, help with marketing, or all of the above? So we've got 8, and yes, that's correct. So drum roll. So there's 3 winners. So 3rd place was Flip. Well done. Infinite came 2nd, and 1st was W2G. If you guys could just reach out to Sunny and give him your email, I will organize those vouchers for you. Well done. Thank you so much. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much for that, Sonia. Congratulations, W2G and Infinite and Flip. It was quite close. I was keeping a track. I'm not sure who the backup king was. He came in strong, but I must say I thought I was the backup king just then, and I failed miserably in the test. So well done again. Now, I think as we're coming to a bit of a close, I just wanted to open up if there was any questions that we can answer, and if we can't answer it, we'll definitely get back to you. So I will wait for just a little while as we're going through there. And I'm sorry, Paul or Jesse, but I can't seem to see any questions. I just want to make sure it's not just my side. Oh.
I'm not seeing any there either, Sunny.
But that's good. Oh.
We don't have any questions in the box, but is there anything you're hearing, Sunny, from partners that maybe we could share?
We've got Sebastian. Can you back straight from Veeam to Glacier, or have to transition through normal S3 bucket first? Now that might be a question potentially for you, Jesse, but if not, I will get Sebastian's details.
Yep, let's take that one offline. Happy to get back to you on that, Sebastian.
Fantastic. Now Joel has also just pinged me and he says can't go to Glacier, but we'll find out as well, Sebastian, and we'll be in touch there. Thanks, Joel. And we'll just give it a few more seconds, and if not, I think we can get 10 minutes back. I'll just also drop my email in the chat if the winners want to just reach out to myself and claim their prizes.
And we'll share the recording, the slides, the promotions and offers and the programs that we've got out at the moment in the next 48 hours.
Awesome,
So,
awesome.
Thank you to our special guest, Joel. Thank you. Thanks, Jesse. Reach out to us anytime. We're here for you, to help you grow your business. So thank you, and yeah, get 10 minutes back.
Okay, well, thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Awesome. Thank you.